Ke go bakanya lapi. Go bakanya mogatsaka. Your crown. Do you want it all jumbled up?
Wow. Montas. I need more Vaseline.
Okay.
Where's your order?
I lost my ring. Hi, welcome back to Doek&Tie, the channel. My name is Bokamoso, aka Kali. This is my beautiful wife, Bonan Kali. And for the past couple of weeks, Kitty made a ring. And the allegations I've been getting from my significant other.
So no, you didn't.
Yeah, I lost my ring, but
On purpose.
no, but the thing is, we've just been inside. So ring or no ring, really, we're just
You went
indoors.
grocery shopping.
We're just indoors.
You went grocery.
Thank you so much for taking time to click on this here video. If this is your first time checking out our videos, welcome. If you are a regular, also we appreciate your support. If you haven't checked out the previous videos that we did, do yourself a favor, pause on this one, then just scroll down and watch those ones, because this one will make more sense if you watch the previous ones that we did.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So on today's episode, we are going to be covering long distance relationships, aka LDRs.
Ding ding ding. Are they called LDRs? Or is that just a made up?
It's an abbreviation.
It's long, so they had to.
Yes. So we were in a long distance relationship.
Okay.
Why are you laughing?
Alright. We had an LDR at one point.
So it all started in 2017. Yeah, 2017. So in 2017, I started a new job in the Middle East. So I had to leave my baby. Yeah, and from 2017 until 2019, for a beautiful 2 years and 2 months, we were in a long distance relationship.
I don't know. I don't understand how these years were beautiful. 2 full years, huh? That's like 3 months. 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, and then another 3. Hey, yo. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go on.
So I think a lot of questions we've been getting from our close friends is, how did we make long distance work? So
We didn't. No, I couldn't. Long distance.
So I now pose the question to my husband: what did we generally do to make it more bearable, manageable?
Yeah. Okay, I'll just be honest. It didn't work out for me. Like long distance relationship, I wouldn't recommend it to the worst of my enemies. I think it's the toughest thing that I've had to do in terms of relationshiping. It's just one of those things, you know. Where do we even start? Distance, what the distance makes the heart grow fonder, but not 2 years, maybe like a day, 2, a week. I miss you too. Then you meet up and it's all nice. But if it goes to now a year and 2 years, it becomes one of the most difficult things that you will ever have to deal with. So I think for us, what made it bearable was that we had an end goal in mind. It wasn't just a relationship. What are we doing with this? You know, we already had an idea of where we wanted to end up. So what kept us sane and going was the fact that, you know, that end goal. Okay, after these 2 years, we'll be husband and wife. We'll have this. Then we can look back and say, yeah, that sacrifice that we made this possible. So that end goal made it very bearable. And the other thing would be communication. We had to communicate twice as much as we do when we're not in a long distance relationship, because generally how relationships work, the fact that you constantly see each other, then later either texting or through the phone, you can simply reference something that, or a movie you're watching, or somebody that you saw. Just talk about things that you experienced that day with your partner. But if
it tends to become very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
Because then, let's say there's a new movie out, you get so excited, but we normally what we do is we'd wait until we watch it together. Well, we're not together physically, but he's watching it on some screen and I'm watching it on another screen.
Well, FaceTiming at the same time.
So it was very difficult when it was a test.
Yeah. So relationships they're made to work because they lay a lot of material that you can reference and have conversations with. At the longer time you guys spend apart is the more you run out of things to do and say to each other. You can only say I miss you so much, and you can only say I love you, I can't wait to see you for so much. And the more one in person, it becomes very difficult. So for us it was definitely the communication and having that vision from point A to point B, right?
And the whole communication thing, like, it gets very difficult to sustain a conversation on, hey, how are you? What did you do today? Every day.
Yeah.
It becomes very, very difficult. At some point, I remember it would be, hey, how are you? Same. Nothing has changed from yesterday. So it becomes very, very difficult to not sort of nourish or sustain our relationship. So a lot of work had to go into like the long distance relationship, a lot of communication, a lot of fights.
Yeah.
And it's very weird when you fight over the phone.
Yeah.
Because normally if we fought in person, we'd have an argument and then eventually we'd hug it out.
Overnight.
But on the phone,
weeks. It takes like a week plus.
There's no hugging it out. And the worst part is you have this very weird tendency of laughing at me.
Okay.
So imagine man, and then
pissed.
I'm livid. And then he would just be there like, what are we even arguing about? And he just bursts into laughter. And you're just there. It's more than shock. You're just there. I'm thinking, why do I even go through this? Because he's laughing. And he does that a lot. He just laughs at things like, I don't even know why we're arguing. And the worst part is then I would lose my train of thought.
You see, it helped.
No.
But I think it's also worth mentioning that throughout those 2 years that we were in a long distance relationship, I think we saw each other once a month.
Not once a month.
More or less.
The first time I saw you was after 3 months.
Oh yeah. And then after that it was like every month.
Not really. There were months that sometimes months would go by some morning. And then sometimes we'd be able to see each other, say we saw each other in March, and then we'd see each other again in Feb. Why am I going backwards?
Yeah, May.
We saw each other in March, and then we'd see each other in May. Sometimes we would skip a month, or sometimes it would even go as far as once in 3 months.
Yeah. So babe, so far we've mentioned I think 2 things that made it work. The communication, and then having that end goal in mind at the end of it. What else do you think kind of made it bearable? And
compromise. Because we had to, I think I didn't know this before, but I'm very clingy.
Yeah.
So
what?
So it became very difficult for us to be apart, to the point that I needed to learn to let him do other things, hang out with other people. Because every time I'm expecting him, if I know what he knocks off at a certain time, then I'm expecting him home at a certain time and be there waiting. I'm like, okay, it's time for a video call. Where is he?
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to sort of like compromise. I had to learn how to like hang out with other people other than him, hang out with friends, let him hang out with friends, let him hang out with family. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't healthy. We're apart, but there's other relationships that we have to sustain.
Yeah.
So there's also that compromise that needed to go into our relationship.
Yeah. So I think a long distance relationship is kind of the best and worst thing that could ever happen to a couple, because it really puts a strain, and how we look at it from the positive side of things, that strain sometimes is like the best test to a relationship to see if you guys are really in it. Because if a long distance relationship happens to a couple where you're not really sure of where you want to take things, or whether it's a serious relationship, whether it's a fling or once off, or or just playing, then definitely you'll break up. But if it's a relationship that both of you consciously made a decision, or you want to get somewhere with it, you want a certain end result, then you'll likely survive it.
You need to be willing to put in the work.
Yeah. And don't avoid fights. I think I got away with that quite a lot. When I knew a fight was due, I would try to avoid it, because if you fight, it's gonna take us like 2 weeks to get back to normal. So I'd laugh it off and stuff. But at the end, I just realized, well, you know what? I just need to ride the wave and go through the motions. If she wants to argue, I get in there, we argue, we cry, we make out, all sorts of things. Wholly virtual. It's very weird.
Yeah, I don't make out. How do you make out with shit?
The screen.
Yeah, so it really is a test of character, I think, because there's a lot of things that were likely to come into play. There's people who, I'd say we have friends and you're always with your friends and the people that you lean on, and then say he has friends and he has people that he leans on. It would become very easy for you to become dependent on other people, and then how do I put this? It becomes very, very easy to lose whatever emotional connection you had, and then start attaching those emotional connections to other people.
Yeah.
So it was very important for us to sort of understand what we are working towards an end goal, and whatever relationships we form with other people, how are those relationships going to impact our relationship?
Yeah.
So the main objective was to have friends, have people around you, have people we can talk to, but don't avoid talking with each other. Don't avoid problems. Don't avoid. Gotta share all our happy moments together. Sad
moments. Yeah. And I understand you. I get it. Yeah. So still maintain a relationship while building those other relationships around it. This got emotions and conversations that I would normally have with you, then go have them with somebody else, because that will take away from our relationship.
And then you become attached to that somebody else, because that somebody else is there physically, and then the other person is just virtual for the time being.
Yeah.
So it becomes very important to guard against like latching on what I'd want from Bokamuso onto another person, because that other person is there present physically.
Yeah.
So that's one other thing that you need to guard against.
Yeah, definitely. So for us, I'd say it worked out, or it definitely worked out, because throughout the 2 years we got engaged while you were still away, right?
We got engaged before I left.
Or before you left. So we will sustain being engaged and planning our wedding, which was even more stressful. I think we'll just make a separate video on that. And eventually we got married while you were still away. So all of that was done while we were in a long distance relationship. So for us it worked out, because we're definitely stronger now because of it. And we know that if we survive that, what more of living together? I think that's another challenge.
It's going to be very challenging.
So, if you've ever been in a long distance relationship, you can tell us in the comments, did it work out? Why didn't it work out? How long it didn't work out?
What did you take away from it?
Yeah, and would you ever consider again being in a long distance relationship? Or are you in a long distance relationship right now? What are the most things or the things that you find most challenging? So leave a comment, drop a like, and also don't forget to like the channel. And also, in case you are in the tube streets or on YouTube, do check out our channel over there as well. And subscribe and also like the channel. It's called Doek&Tie. I am Duke. She's Tie. Was it that?
How can you be Duke?
Okay. No. she's Duke. I'm Tie.
So thank you very much for checking out today's episode. We hope it was short and sweet.
It was very LDR.